everybody, welcome to Off the Rack, the comic book review show where we take a book from last week and break it down from its art, writing, and story and give you our thoughts about it, and then give you recommendations for books that are coming out this week on Wednesday. Today we're talking about Superman Annual number 1, or 2016, depending on who you ask. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
This one's got art by Jorge Jimenez, and it's got writing by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, which is fantastic. I love these two on Superman. Hopefully they will do it until they die, which will be another very long time from now. And I love that Jorge Jimenez's art is throughout. You start on the cover, and it goes all the way to the last page of the book. You don't get switcherooed, where you get an amazing cover artist, and then it's the annual, and they go, give it to some new guy. And it's just a garbage fest. No, it's fantastic. It looks great. And I'm already giving you my thoughts about it. But hey, what do you two think of this book, this annual?
I was thrown off by it because it seemed to go in some weird directions, but it ended in a very cool place. I'm a little confused by the overall message about it, but I had a fun time reading.
Swamp Thing! Swamp Thing.
Or Holland, as he'd rather be called.
I know, I'm just saying, that's cool.
I agree.
That's cool to put those two together. He's got the magical element, which makes him
vulnerable.
Yeah, that totally works, and I liked it. I liked what they pulled up with this. If anyone is going to be able to call out Superman like that, it would be Swamp Thing. That's just neat. It's fun.
It's true.
Fun.
Yeah, I loved this issue. I was looking forward to seeing Superman and Swamp Thing interacting, and it was cool for Swamp Thing, who's kind of mystical in nature, to kind of break the fourth wall a little bit and be like, this is going to be different, and you're from a time that, by and large, the audience doesn't want to refer to anymore, so you need to stop it. And he's like, alright, fine. I guess we'll just use this annual as a kind of jumping on point for new readers, if you haven't been on board for Rebirth already.
I just didn't think about it like that. I was just enjoying the story.
I enjoyed the story as well.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, well, there you have it. So,
how come all the Earth was all the Earth. How come all the water was evaporating around Superman, and yet at the same time, no one was dying of dehydration?
Well, who was around? There was nobody in the area.
I mean, he goes around a large area to, swamps and lakes and places around him. Clearly his neighbors would be affected.
I don't know.
Maybe this is a recent development.
Yeah.
I really like his line work because he uses a really heavy outline on the outskirts of a character, and I think that's really, I like that kind of art. There's a lot of art I like. That happens to be one of the types of art that I like. I also really enjoyed, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm gonna throw this out there. When Swamp Thing grows large and then has him dangling here, and it cuts to that black and red panel, and then for me I was like, is this an homage to Attack on Titan? Because this really feels like Attack on Titan, because the art kind of shifted there to a little more grotesque,
right? And
then it kind of went back into the standard format, and I thought that was really neat.
It was just a cool image, no matter what.
It just evoked that feeling in me, and immediately I was really uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was cool.
It wasn't Superman missing eyes that made you uncomfortable? Because that made me uncomfortable.
Nah.
I love the fact that it was the sun and earth, and but they popped out of his head and he was bleeding, and I was like, whoa.
It was cool. It was just, if ever you're going to see a supernatural Vertigo-esque Superman book, it's going to be here, and it's going to be with Swamp Thing.
I think I also just want to call out the fact that they did a really good job with the two different character blendings, the Swamp Thing with the crazy coming out of the cloak.
Yes.
That was intense. And then the Superman Swamp Thing.
Yes, the hybrid.
With the curled vine.
Yep.
I thought that was really, really cool. I was like, you're never gonna see that.
No.
You're never gonna see what if Swamp Thing and Superman were one. As annuals go, this I think was an interesting jumping on point for new readers of Superman.
Yeah, easily. No
it's just funny that it's
Swamp
Thing.
Yeah, no, that's great.
That's not gonna happen, really.
No, I love that, though. That's so great where they're like, this is gonna be a great jumping on point. And you know what? Fuck them. They're also gonna have to read about Swamp Thing.
Yeah, but it kind of works because with Swamp Thing, you can have those kinds of conversations because he has explained things to Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't have any other character who already kind of knows what's going on in Superman's life to explain it to, because otherwise it's they know.
Yeah, they don't need to reiterate themselves.
Yeah, so current readers and new readers get the same experience.
It's true. I agree. Overall, it's a terrific title. If you haven't already picked it up, obviously go and get it. Pick it up at your local comic book store or online. Either way, they're fantastic. There's some great double-page splashes and everything. It's just a great book overall. So go out and pick it up. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to give you our recommendations for books that are coming out this week, and then we'll wrap things up. So let's get to it.
So the title I'm recommending this week is Unworthy Thor #2, written by Jason Aaron with art by Olivier Coipel. It's a very fun story where Odinson is trying to get his hammer back and, trying to prove himself worthy again. But the hammer that he's after is not Thor's hammer, it's the Thor hammer from the Ultimate Universe, which is a Thor hammer axe combo, and it's freaking awesome. The interesting thing about this is that Beta Ray Bill, that's right, Horseface, is going to be in this comic. And in order to get back to the Realm Eternal, apparently they need to go and face the Collector. I just want to see these two break everything inside of the Collector's place, like on a quest to get the hammer back. It sounds like an unwanted, gleeful mayhem of destruction, and I'm in. So I think you should pick it up.
My recommendation this week is Champions #3 from Humberto Ramos and Mark Waid. The second issue was of a departure from the main story in which we meet all the characters and they all run down their powers, and we also introduce young Cyclops. This one is getting back to the story from the first issue where the Champions is trending and it's becoming kind of a phenomenon, and they also kind of hinted at the possibility of there being other champions, other young superheroes who might be joining the team. So I'm excited to see where this goes because I really like this team. I like not only the team in the comic, but I like the team outside the comic of Mark Waid and Humberto Ramos working together and making a really visceral, fun, kinetic book. It's the kind of lighthearted humor and the kind of jubilant fun and high-flying superheroics that is sorely lacking in Marvel right now, and so I'm hoping that this book at least lasts. So I'm recommending it so that we can maybe get some numbers in there. So there you have it.
Alright, so I have an image book for you guys. It's Motor Crush #1. It's from the same team that did that revamp on Batgirl. So we're talking Brendan Fletcher, Cameron Stewart, and Babs Tarr. They did a great job on Batgirl, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. This is about a woman or lady, a motorcyclist, let's just go with that, a motorcyclist by the name of Domino Swift, who competes in motorcycle races, but at night she essentially cracks the heads of rival gangs in order to get a hold of this drug or this machine narcotic known as Crush. Essentially, it just looks like this really cool, really intense, really fun book that's done by the team that did Batgirl. So I'm like, yeah, I want to go get that. And you gotta give it a shot. You gotta give it a try. The cover for these look amazing. I love the actual logo for Moto Crush. It's just really cool. One more thing that I have that actually isn't a book that's coming out. It already came out, and we should have given it a little bit of attention, so I want to do that now. A book that DC put out last week, so that was November 30th it came out. It's called the New Talent Showcase, and essentially what it did was it created a whole bunch of one-shots with brand new writers and brand new artists who had gone through this whole training course, and essentially it was like, what's the story you would tell DC if you only had one? It's a really cool opportunity to see some new talent that's coming up the ranks and to really just show DC that you're into that kind of thing. We all love our superstar artists and writers. Absolutely. They're great. They're the backbone of it all. But the fact is, wouldn't it be nice to have some new blood get in there and to show them that it's something that you are interested in? So if you are interested in that, I suggest that you go pick it up and just show DC with your wallet that you're into that kind of thing. It's an 80-page book on top of it, and it has stories about Constantine and Harley Quinn and Wonder Girl, and it's just all over the place, and it's so much fun. So go grab it.
So those are our recommendations for books that are coming out tomorrow. Go pick those books up because I'm sure they're going to be fantastic, and hopefully we'll do one or two of them on Off the Rack next week. And we'll see you guys next week, of course, with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot for watching, and keep on reading.